What's up, Enduro guys? This is your program for the 1st of September, and as promised, it is deload week, but we're introducing lots of new movements. So this is a time to get excited around some new things that we're going to be introducing with, let's say, weight and intensity over the next few weeks. So it's important that you get them nailed down and you feel comfortable and you know your scaling options here. Pat Campbell-Jenner is on board. So he's going to be with us from now on to help with lots of stuff, but particularly today with movement demos. He moves reasonably well, and it means that I can prod him with a stick and tell you what's going on. So we're going to start with Turkish get-ups. So Pat's going to demo. I'm going to get my stick. So you're going to start at the top, locking out your elbow. It's important now that you remember the first part of this movement is if your left hand is up, your left foot goes forwards and plants itself. So same hand, same foot. Go on then, Pat. I'll talk through as he's going. So you go down to a lunge, hand down. That was super fast. Don't worry about it. So we'll talk on the way up. This might be difficult. So it's onto an elbow. So you're going to drive your chest high onto the elbow. Then you're going to drive again onto the hand. The feet stay in the same place for those two first movements. Then left foot is planted if the kettlebell's in your left hand. The right foot then feeds through, so you end up on your knee, and then you can drive up on a lunge. So that's one rep done. I'd like you to work up to 3 medium weight Turkish get-ups. Then reduce the weight a little bit, and then on the minute, every minute for 12 minutes, do 2 to 4 each side. So that then you're greasing the groove, you know how to do it well, which positions you need to be in. Don't worry if you don't get it straight away. It's a complicated movement. You're feeding yourself through yourself quite a lot. Key points are, keep your elbow as locked as possible. And if you look at the kettlebell as you go, that will help your positions. And that's it for part A, day 1. Well done, Pat. Part B, day 1, is a lateral squat. So before you even pick up a kettlebell, you're going to take a step. Look at the positions. So this foot is planted, right foot is planted. The knee on the supporting foot is going forwards as much as possible, and you're keeping your chest as high as possible. Do a little feel around each side. See where there's any tension. You might want to do more mobility. This is very testing on your ankle mobility, which is the point of this movement. So we're strengthening in different areas here. Once you've had a feel around, pick up a kettlebell. Don't go too heavy. We will be doing these for weight in the coming weeks. This is just as a trial to see how you feel. So 6 each side. So stay on one side for 6. Then you can put the kettlebell down before you do the other side. So rest is needed. 4 times, 6 each side. And that's it for part B, day 1. The final part, day 1, is a 2,000 meter row test. I know some of you have done this recently, but don't worry, it is also training. Refer back to your previous 2,000 meters and try and sustain the pace that you got on that. So if you did it in 7 minutes, do a 1:45 pace for the first 1,000 meters and then pick up the pace if you feel like you can. You can continue that pace for 1,500 meters if you're struggling halfway through and try and pick up the pace at the end. And that will, even if you've done it recently, be a better reflection on your true 2,000 meter pace. And that's that for day 1. Day 2, part A, pistol squats. You may have done these before. We're going to go over it again. You're going to do, as today's work, 5 each side of the hardest type of pistol squat that you can do. So ideally, that will be weighted. But we're going to go through lots of options on the way to that. So let's take a look at option number 1. A plate under the heel, and then holding something for support. So Pat can put his front leg out, pushing the knee forwards. Supported by the rig, he can also pull himself up with the plate under the heel that will remain solid on the ground and allow his knee to come forwards, therefore helping the whole mechanics of everything above. So second stage is remove the plate and have some support and see how you get on. So heel's still on the ground. You might have needed a little bit of help from the rig, but that's absolutely fine. Third stage is to do with a little bit of help counterbalancing. So with a kettlebell out the front is with or without the plate, something that's going to counterbalance to stop him moving forwards. Although this is a weighted movement, you might find this easier than without. So ideally, you're going to be able to do a pistol squat, freestanding, perfect. And this is why Pat's here and I'm not doing it. Then, if that was super easy for you, add more weight, more weight, more weight until you do five reps on the same side with a reasonably heavy weight. And then we may use that next week. So that's part A done. Part B, super simple. We're going to do some pull-ups and ring push-ups. So set the rings reasonably low. Pull-ups are going to be a reverse grip pull-up. So this is different from what we've done before. We're just changing the stimulus there. So it's going to be palms facing back, fully extended at the bottom. So remember, it's important to have that fully extended position. And then you're going to pull chin over bar all the way down. It's going to be 5 reps of the pull-ups on minute 1, and then swap over onto ring push-ups. So important here that you're nice and braced through the middle in a semi-hollow position. So not overextended because you're soft, so push your tummy out, Pat. So you don't want to be in this position here because you're weak through your midline. Bring your hips up into this hollow position, bracing with the obliques, going down onto the rings, so rings hitting either side of your chest, driving up, and then rest between each. It's going to be 18 minutes alternating between. If you can't do 5 for that sustained amount of time, then use a band and scale it down. So these are strict strength-based things, so no kipping, although kipping that way around would just be weird. Don't even try it. And if these are difficult for you, then lower them closer to the ground and use your knees. So you can do it on your knees, or you can heighten them and reduce the angle. So it's going to reduce the load on the push. But it's important that you do it on something not so stable. So that'll help with stability through your shoulder. And that's what we're after today. And that's part A of day 2 done. Part C, super simple, not so nice. On the bike, 30 seconds, reasonably hard, and then 30 seconds rest in between. You're going to do that for 20 minutes. Oh, come on, Pat. Oh, adapt and overcome. So max calories, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off for 20 minutes. So you can test yourself on this. Although it's deload week, this is an intensity workout. You can raise your capacity. We don't want you to get all soft this week. So this will be a testing one. If you don't have a bike, of course, use a turbo trainer, rowing machine. A ski erg would probably be the best thing today if you don't have a bike. And that's it for day 2. Day 3 is going to start with a strength movement. You're going to work to a heavy 5, but because it's deload week, we don't want you to put volume into that. So this is just a test of a heavy 5 so that we can work off that. Once you get there, don't do loads of volume because that's to come, and you will do a little bit of counteracting what we're trying to achieve today. So this one is a Pendlay row, named after Glenn Pendlay, the Olympic weightlifting coach. Very, very good for hip mobility, strengthening the hamstrings and glutes, but more importantly, a parallel pull against the ground, strengthening the upper mid back. So it's important that you get into a hinge, the best hinge that you can, with lots of tension through the hamstrings and glutes, and you nicely parallel against the ground. Doesn't necessarily have to get to the ground, but if you're flexible enough to pull it from the ground, so be it. You can rest at the bottom and then pull. So work a few sets incrementally on the way up until you feel comfortable with the movement, paying particular attention to your spinal curve remaining nice and tight through your middle. And then when you hit a heavy 5, make a note of that, and we'll use that next week. And then into a reasonably decent hard workout for part B. 200-meter row, and then 24 dumbbells. Grab your dumbbells, Pat. It's going to be a dumbbell lunge, 24, so 12 each side, or if you do have the space, 20 meters total of a walking lunge. So these lunges are up on the shoulder, forward step, knee to the ground at the back, step back up. Or if it's a walking lunge, then simply walk with it, stand, and go. And that's going to be 20 meters, or as I said, 24. Then dumbbells down, so you've done 200-meter row, lunges, 200-meter run, get back in, and 15 dumbbell deadlifts. So these deadlifts, really important that you're ending up in the position that you established with the pendlay row. So it's a nice stiff leg deadlift as far as you can. You do not have to hit the ground with the dumbbells. This is not a movement standard that I want you to get to unless you feel safe through your lower back. Once you've done those 15, it's back on the rowing machine for 200 meters, and then you cycle through as many times round as you can in 12 minutes. And that's that for part B. Let yourself recover from that, and we're going to do a core finisher. Although you've got lots of core work that you can be doing, this is a new one that I'd like you to try, and we're going to incorporate as we go. So Pat's going to grab a band. You can attach these anywhere you like. So between a rig, or what we have here is J-cups to bring it away from the rig a little bit. You're going to stand in a square position. Left hand forward to start. Left foot forwards into a slight lunge position, and then right foot, ball of the foot here, square on, right hand is down by the hip. What you're going to do here is very much like, you imagine if you've ever done karate or you've ever seen Cobra Kai, and you stand in a line, you have to shout Ki and tighten your core. So very valid core movement, resisting rotation. So this is a really important thing for riders, the resisting of rotation, and this will make you better. But also we get the added benefits of nice functional pushing and pulling, strength and stability, upper mid back, chest, shoulders, triceps, all these things that will help. So you're going to do, just as a try, maybe 6 to 12 reps, pretty broad rep range depending on how much tension you have, 2 or 3 times each side, and then that's it for day 3. And day 4. So this is a test. We don't need to demo it because it would just be like this. It's going to be 40 to 60 minutes, or your best guess at that, of rowing, biking, skiing, whatever, in the dark with no music and no metrics on a screen. So it might seem a bit weird. If you don't want to do it in the dark like that, don't worry, you can just do a steady state cardio session for 40 to 60 minutes. But we will be testing this next week. I've done it in the past on the rowing machine. It's interesting to see what you feel is your absolute limit and what is reality. So it's cool to get into touch with mind and body in a kind of hippie way, but a pretty intense hippie way. So use this as a test. It'll be a pretty cool thing to get through, and let us know if you do it and how you get on. Midweek next week, we might get a video out where we're going to do it as a test. So maybe wait until we've done that and then try it. But that's that. So any questions, send them over. As always, we try and reply to them better on social media than emails, but we try and get around. Now Pat's here, he'll probably get back to you. So apologies for any late ones. I'll have a word. And that's it for this week. So see you next week.
1, 2, 3, listen.